Matt from the forums was exploring using animation in Omniverse using keyframes and hitting some problems with making it into a format interchangeable with other products by using time sample data. I thought it'd be interesting to create a little demonstration. So let's just start with a new empty stage. I'm going to come over, I'm going to add a cube into the stage. And the idea is if you open up the animation timeline window, which I've got open down here, I can come down and set the playhead to a certain time. I'm going to right click and set a key for the initial position of the cube. I'm going to move the timeline along, rotate the cube around a bit, set another key, and now if I scrub between them, the cube animates and I can hit the play button and it animates back. Cool. But the way it does this is using an Omniverse OmniGraph node called a push node. It's not using the standard USD time sample data. And if you want to work with other USD tools, they're not going to understand an Omniverse push node. So the question was how to turn this into a baked animation clip. And that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to start again with a new empty stage. And what I'm trying to do is to get a set of files that don't have the Omniverse nodes in it at all to make it nice and clean for sharing with other people. So what I'm going to do is I've got my first empty stage and I'm going to come in, I'm going to create some sublayers. So my first sublayer I'm going to create, I'm going to call my cube layer. Always good to come up with exciting dynamic names. It's asked me, do I want to move all the root contents down? Nope, I want to leave that up there. So now what I'm going to do is right click and set authoring layer. So now all my changes go into that layer. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to create my shape, which is a cube. And I'm going to come over to the materials. I'm going to drag a material onto it just so it's got a bit of color. The reason I'm doing this is because you'll notice there's a cube and now there's a looks directory up there, which is what Omniverse does. And the looks has got material in it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is come back to my root layer. I'm going to set the timeline back to 0. I'm going to come back to my stage. I'm going to come to my cube, set the rotation, set a key, come some further time forward, rotate it around a bit, do another set key. And so I've got my file. But what I've got in terms of the layers is the cube and its looks is down in this cube layer. The pushed graph, because I set the authoring layer back to the root one, it's kept the push graph in my root layer. So I've got this cube layer and my main stage file, and the main stage file is nice and got all the Omniverse specific stuff, and the cube layer has got the generic USD concepts only. Okay, so I'm going to save this stage out. So this is my Omni stage, just for want of a better name. And I've got them both saved. Cool. So the question is, how do I bake this out? How do I end up with some pure USD files without the Omniverse push graph? Well, just going to hit save again because I know there's little asterisks up there, not sure why. If I come into the Omniverse and I go into the stage recorder, what I can do is come back to stage. I'm going to highlight, I'm going to select the cube, add selection, and now it adds the stage recorder is going to record the cube animation. You give it a take name, it won't work without this field filled in, so I've got my take in there, picked the directory and so forth already. You may need to change some of the settings, and then you hit the record button. And what's going on? I had it hidden, so I just did it a second time. So the stage recorder creates a take per recording. So I did 2 recordings then because I had it obscured. I don't really need that second one, so I'm just going to get rid of that second one again. Where's delete? There we go. Yes, delete the file. So let's have a look inside this file. If I come and have a look, right click, where is it? Oh, I had it open before. Right click, edit. It starts up a text editor, so it's overriding the world layer. It's got the cube in it. It's got time samples, so that's the standard USD way of encoding time samples for the rotation. You come down to the end, but there's no materials or anything like that. So this is just, if you had a more complex object with meshes and so forth, it's only going to have the prim that's actually getting modified with the time samples attributes on it. That's why I was using the looks. So the material, it'd be similar if you're using something with a mesh. Again, it wouldn't be in here. So you can't just use this file by itself. You've got to merge it with that original file that we had for the cube layer file. So if I have a look in the cube layer file, for example, just to be complete, we've got the world, we've got the cube, we've got the looks, and we've got the material. So this has got everything, but it doesn't have the animation data into it. So now what we're going to try and do is put these two files together. So if we come back over here, what I'm going to do is start another stage file. So I'm going to say file, new, and I've got a new empty stage. This time I'm going to add in the take that I just recorded from the take recorder, and I'm going to add in the cube layer, which just had the cube and the material. Now the order matters. I had to move the take up above because I wanted to override what's in the cube layer. Now if I come back and play, I've got the animation working. So it's taking the animation data from the take recording, overlaying it over the actual cube layer, which is the cube plus the material definition. Because if I didn't have that cube layer, I wouldn't get the complete cube. So that's why I'm merging these two things together. If I hit Control S to save that out, so I'm going to call this my pure stage. And if I have a look inside pure stage, I get rid of all the header sort of stuff. Where's the sublayers? Helps if I can spell. So I've got sublayers, and it's referring to those two files. That's the real purpose of this this particular file. And so that's, you then can then share the pure stage file with the take and the cube layer files, and then it won't have any Omniverse specific data into it. But that's just a quick introduction to the take, the stage recorder, so it can record the time sample data for anything in the stage when you play it back. And you can take that, and that's using pure USD concepts such as time sample data. And that's just by using multiple layer files, you can get it so you're not sharing any Omniverse specific stuff out to your other tools. Hope this was useful.